we're trying to figure out how many shares of company X does the investor have. So it tells me that 30% shares of company X, 30% here, and 1/7 of the remaining shares are Y. Okay, so 30% is here. That means we've got 70% out there left, and we know 1/7 of the 70%, I'm going to change it to decimal, is 10%. So company X is 30%, company Y is 10% of the total shares. Okay, so let's look at clue 1. The investor owns 100 shares of Y. 100 shares of company Y. So we know that 10% of all the shares, and I'm going to call that T. Let T be the total number of shares. We know that has to be 100. Well, you can solve it in your head. You don't have to do this, but in your head, you know that you can solve this for T. And if you know the total number of shares, then you multiply it by 30%, and you would have the number of shares for X. And you'd be done. You know, clue 1 works. Now I'm going to show you the work, but in your head, you just work that out. It doesn't take as much time. So you got 100 shares, and I think you understand this equation here. If I solve for T, that gives me 1,000. If you divide both sides by 0.10. And the way I did that is 100 divided by 0.101. And if I multiply top and bottom by 10, that gives me 1,000. And then 10 times 0.1 is just 1. So clue 1 works. Now what does clue 2 say? My computer. There it goes. Clue 2 says investor owns 200 more shares of company X than that of company Y. Well, company X is 30% times the total amount. And we know that that amount is 200 more than company Y. So company Y is how much? Company Y has 10% of the total. And if I want to make this equation equal, this side has 200 more on it, so I would just add 200. So you've got an equation, you could solve it for T, you get that value for T, and then you multiply it by 30%, and you got the total number of shares for company X. So both clues work independently. Your answer is D.